The Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. A sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. And now, here is Alex C.
All right, here we go. It is the Yay or Nay Show with Alex C., a sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I do mean a lot of stuff to talk about today. Really quickly, though, I have to answer a question. Somebody hit me on Twitter and asked me why I'm always looking left to right. I'm broadcasting on Instagram as well as Twitter and Facebook, so that's the reason why I'm going back and forth, because, again, I'm on the Instagram on my phone, and then I'm looking back over to the computer where I'm broadcasting live. The video feed goes to Facebook and Twitter. All right, so Red Sox. We all know about the game last night between the Red Sox and Yankees, and, of course, we're all getting ready for tonight's game between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Yesterday, let's start off with I picked the Red Sox to win last night's game. That is, in fact, what took place. The Red Sox did win. I figured they would. Again, reason why I thought they would is pretty simple. Red Sox, one of the hottest teams in baseball. The Yankees, one of the most inconsistent teams in baseball. Also, you know, when you look at the pitching of Derek Cole, it's been very cold as of lately. He hasn't done very well. He's been injured. And there's been a lot of talk about that today after the fact, as everybody, as always, Monday morning quarterbacks the game. We're going to get into a lot of that today. But first, let's do a rundown of the game itself. First of all, it all starts off with the Yankees. Derek Cole, $324 million on the mound, and everybody's saying that he was paid to play this game. This is the reason why you pay the big bucks to those pitchers, right? This is the reason why you have those aces on the mound, is for these big moments. Now, I get it. Last night he didn't do well. He crashed and burned. But again, instead of beating him down and saying that, he's a failure and New York should look at replacing him, or they at least should be questioning whether they should keep him or what they should do with him. And I don't know what you could do with him, because, again, you're locked into a contract for $324 million. But the thing is that, when you look at the whole thing, blaming it on him really doesn't make sense. Again, here's a guy who was in COVID protocol. Here's a guy who's been injured, and he's been suffering injuries for the last, basically fourth quarter of the season. And so if you're injured, and your pitcher's injured, I don't know why you relied on him to begin with. And then you put all of the stress and strain on him to lead you to the promised land, get you past the Boston Red Sox, but yet he's been injured. And again, he was in COVID protocol, and a lot of people recover differently from COVID. Most people, granted, once they're past it, they're past it. But there's a percentage of people that they battle after effects. They got side effects. They got things that don't even appear right off the bat. Next thing you know, some weird things start to happen a couple of weeks later after they allegedly have been cleared from COVID. Everybody reacts differently to everything, right? Some people get the flu heavy. Some people don't get it at all. Some people get the sniffles, but yet it was the flu. Same thing with COVID. We don't know how people are going to react. And so for people to beat them down the way they are, and for New York fans to demand that the Yankees win, and that the Yankees win pennants and the Yankees win World Series, not to want it, not to cheer for it, but to demand that the Yankees win, and win continuously, when this team predominantly throughout the history of baseball has been a dominating force in the game of baseball, a team that is synonymous with the game of baseball and Major League Baseball itself. And yet the fans, from my understanding, from what I'm hearing, demanding that they win the pennant. And because they didn't win last night's game, now everybody's questioning whether they should keep the general manager. Maybe they should just fire him altogether. And maybe they should just blow this team up. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me make sure I make this straight. So your team's been dominating for decades, predominantly almost the whole entire history of baseball. And because you guys don't win, because you get to a wild card, and because you lose a wild card, because somebody has to lose, folks. That's just reality. Somebody has to lose. Both teams can't win. Both teams can't move on. Somebody's going to wake up this morning with their heart broken, whether it be Yankee fans or Red Sox fans. And in this case, it's Yankee fans. But the crazy thing, instead of being heartbroken, Yankee fans are demanding that changes be made. They're demanding that the ownership go and spend like $500 million to upgrade the talent. Now, here's the thing. The Yankees have always outspent everybody, right? It's the advantage of being in the number one market in America. The Yankees have always outspent everybody. That's what they've done. It's what they've always been able to do, and it's worked well. It hasn't worked over the past, few years, but the thing is depends on who's measuring it, right? Because if you ask me, has it been working over the past few years? I'll say yes. Why? Because the Yankees are always in the talk. It's not like where I live. I live in the 602 where the Arizona Diamondbacks, nobody's talking about them going to the pennant. Nobody's talking about them winning the division. Nobody's talking about them being a possible World Series contender. They never talk about it. We don't even think about it. We don't even talk about it in Phoenix, Arizona. We're like, oh, yeah, I think we got a baseball team. That's what we talk about. But for Yankee fans, again, and the part I'm trying to wrap my head around is they're demanding firing the general manager, spend $500 million to get an upgrade to the roster on a roster that's already the most expensive roster in baseball. And just because you spend money doesn't mean you're going to be the best. That's the thing that people don't understand. There are physical limitations, things that happen to people, injuries, illnesses, mental issues, things that people don't even discuss, that they don't disclose, that they keep hidden. There are other challenges that take place as well. Sometimes you're just going up against that team that's amped up. They got all the adrenaline and testosterone that you could muster, and they're just flat out better than you that day. Even though you might be the better team, they just play better. They're just amped up and ready to go. Some people are coached up, ready to go. Some people have better coaching. That is true. But this is baseball. And a manager can do a lot of things. He can tweak the lineup. He can make adjustments to the pitchers. He can make sure he has his pitchers in the best place to succeed. He can come up with game plans and pitching strategies. He can work with the pitching coaches, the hitting coaches, make sure he's got his hitters and his DHs in the right places in the lineup and ready to go. Make sure he's got the hot hands and he's playing with the hot hands, and anybody who's cold, you take him out. He can do all those things. All those things I just mentioned are doable, but they still don't guarantee you a win because you got the other guy who's also a manager in the opposing dugout doing the exact same things. So somebody has to fail and somebody has to succeed. And when you got two guys doing the exact same job, again, somebody's going to be depressed. Yankee fans, Red Sox fans, today it's Yankee fans. I just can't believe that I'm hearing that now you've got to blow it up and you got to spend all this money and you got to upgrade the roster. That's a pretty good roster. I'll be honest. If I were the general manager, heck, if I were the owner of the Yankees right now, I would say, you know what? We had a great season. We had a lot of wins. We had some rough patches. We went on some cold streaks. We also went on a very hot streak. But after that, we kind of were 50-50 ball. We kind of couldn't keep it together. We couldn't keep our momentum. Those things happen, right? But normally, traditionally, when those things happen the next year, you don't really do too many tweaks to the lineup, and you kind of keep things the same as much as possible, keep as many of the players as you can. And this is a sport that doesn't have a salary cap, so it's a lot easier for you in baseball. So you just kind of keep it together, and then you just move forward the following year, and you can only get better. Your team's only going to gel better. They're going to get along better. They're going to know each other's tendencies better. Your pitchers predominantly are going to get better as long as their health stays good. So the Yankees really, in all honesty, if they just kept the roster the way it is, kept the manager in place, I think the Yankees would be in a perfect position to be talked about as being a favorite to win the division and make a run at the World Series next year. You just need to keep the roster together. Why? Most teams, number one, don't keep the rosters together, especially in the smaller markets where they don't have the money to spend like the Yankees do. Number two, you can always make one or two free agent transactions that other teams cannot make because you're the Yankees and you have the payroll to do it. So you keep your roster together, maybe bolster your roster by one or two hitters, maybe get some strength in a position player. If there's somebody who's absolutely outstanding in the pitching category, pick up one. But again, predominantly. Otherwise, leave your roster together, and you are going to be an odds-on favorite to make a World Series run next year. And that's all the Yankees got to do. You don't got to fire the manager. You don't got to spend $500 million. When I listen to all these national guys who are also Yankee fans, and they're the ones that are crying and saying that you have to spend the $500 million, fire the general manager, and do all these things, I'm like, do you guys actually hear yourselves? Do you guys not know how games are played, how teams are made, how winning rosters are built? Do you guys not understand that it takes 2, 3, 4 years in order to do these things? And I could also take us back to Mac Jones in the game with Tom Brady on Sunday night, and I will here in a little bit because that's a perfect example. I'm going to show you something else, something that I've always known, I've always watched, and I've always seen since I was a kid. And remember, I'm a sports fan doing a sports show for sports fans. I'm not an inside guy, so I'm telling you the fan perspective. Not everybody's going to agree with me, and I understand that, and I'm okay with that. That's the beautiful thing about life. We all have different points of view, but I think a good many of you would agree with the assessment that I'm making. The Yankees don't have to do too much. Look at how many teams can't even get as far as the Yankees right now. Look at how many teams can't be in contention for their division year in and year out. Look at how many teams will not be in contention for their division next year. It's almost an odds-on favorite guarantee that right here, right now, with this roster that they have in place, they will be an odds-on favorite to win their division. They don't got to do too much. You don't got to go spend $500 million. You overpaid for your pitcher in Derek Cole at $324 million to begin with. You overpaid. You got to stop doing that. You overpaid by a lot, by a landslide. And I guarantee they wanted him, so they thought it'd be great. Let's just throw the money out there. Let's make it happen. But again, the thing is you overpaid, and there's no reason to overpay for these guys. Maybe, as a matter of fact, you might want to restructure some of these contracts. You might want to get some of these guys to give some money back. And if I were the Yankees, if I were going to strengthen my roster, if I were really going to look at spending money where it needs to be spent, it wouldn't be on my major league roster. I would be boosting my farm. I'd be getting the best coaches to work on my farm system. I would be doing the best job I possibly could at getting the best scouts possibly available in baseball to go out and scout for players and get me the best farm. So throughout the year, every now and then, A, when somebody gets injured, and B, when I want to pepper a little youth, put a little sauce inside of my team so they got a little flavor, so they get a little boost, so they got a little energy when they're looking flat, I want to make sure my farm system has plenty of people to offer, from the pitching staff to a catcher, especially a catcher that can hit, and maybe some position players that can play well and that can hit, and that if you put them in, even though they're going to, probably be deer in the headlights because it's like, oh, my first night in Major League, they're surrounded by such stardom. A, it might not affect them so much. B, they're going to be surrounded by such stardom and such great talent that it's not going to affect them, and it's going to allow them to come into their own after 2, 3, 4 games. And you'll continue to win, but you'll have that new breed, that new blood, that new life that you need in your team, that thing that sometimes lights the spark when you're looking and feeling a little flat. And these are things that a manager by gut should be able to tell is happening to their team. And when it does, you got to have a farm system with players that are ready to come up, that are good enough to play and ready to play, and they're top-notch talent. Basically, you want a bunch of blue chippers in your farm system, and you need scouts to go get them, go find them, sign them, bring them in, and then develop them with the best coaching system that the farm system can offer. That's what the Yankees should be doing. Not worrying about it going and spending another $300 million, $500 million, $400 million, whatever the number is they think they have in their budget. That doesn't make sense at all. Up your farm system. Pay those coaches more. Pay those scouts more. Make sure they're getting you all the blue chippers. Bring them up. Work them in. And keep bringing them up. And keep working them in. Work them in like a losing team does. Losing teams do it all the time. They bring in guys. Now, granted, losing teams have nothing to lose. But the thing is when you're winning, if you're only bringing up one guy at a time and you put him in a position that it's not going to be too detrimental to you, it would be great. Great experience for them. And again, the youth, the new blood, the energy, the spark that young player is going to bring, that'll be great for your team. And it'll put a little fear in some of them players knowing that there's blue chippers underneath them ready to take their position. It'll light a little fire under their tails to play a little better, play a little harder, focus a lot harder. That's what you want. That's what you need. That's what young blood in a farm system can do for your team, especially when you're overpaying them. They're going to know, I'm making $175 million and this guy's hit 6 home runs and I've only hit 2. They're going to know they're in trouble. They better do something. They better make some changes. It would be great. And that is my advice to the Yankees. That's what I think the Yankees should do. For all these national guys that are making fools of themselves, screaming that they need to blow up the roster, fire the general manager, and spend $500 million, that's a joke. What about the farm system? Why have one if you're not going to build it and develop it? Get the best coaches, get the best scouts, find the best blue chippers, get them in your system, bring them up on the regular, and light a fire under that bench. That is what you need to do. And keep your manager. Your manager's doing a great job. He's not the guy who's batting and striking out. He's not the guy who doesn't figure out that I need to start playing in the 7th inning when I'm already losing by 3 runs. He's not the guy on the mound who can't get it together because he doesn't have spider tack on his hands, right? He's not that guy. But he's done a great job because look at all the wins you've racked up and you continue to be in the wild card, if not the divisional title conversation. Other teams cannot say that year in and year out. The Yankees can. I get it. You got the highest payroll, so therefore you got the highest expectations. Maybe you should quell those expectations. Nobody can win year in and year out. Do you see LeBron James winning titles all the time, every year? I don't. Did anybody see Michael Jordan winning nothing but titles throughout his entire career? I didn't. So you can't expect anybody to win titles year in and year out. Do you see Tom Brady winning titles every year? I don't. I see a lot of years where he doesn't make it. I see a lot of years where things happen that are out of his control, that it doesn't work out. So just because you got the highest payroll doesn't guarantee anything. So getting into last night's game, Tampa Bay is waiting with 100 wins on the winner of this game. That's a lot of pressure. It's win, you're in, lose, you're out, right? Stanton was robbed of a home run off of the monster in the 1st inning. That was a big blow. Unbelievable. The advantage of playing in Boston. Hey, the big red monster, right? The big green monster, right? You hit it in a normal ballpark, it would be out of the park, but not in Boston. Not on the green monster. Stanton was robbed in the 1st. And then you got Boston's Xander Bogart in the bottom of the 1st. A 2-run homer. Bam! All of a sudden, momentum. You're at home. You got the big green monster. Because you play at home, you know where to hit the ball in order to get a home run and not have to worry about the green monster. Advantage Boston. Big, big, big home field advantage. Not just from the crowd, not just from the noise, but knowing that particular field, which is one of the most crazy fields in baseball, right? And then the Sox make it 3-0 in the 3rd. Unbelievable. It's like, wow, wait a minute. What's happening? Derek Cole out after 2 1/3 innings. Again, everybody wants to blame him, be mad at him. Sometimes, folks, people just have a bad night. Anthony Rizzo, home run in the 6th. All right, now all of a sudden it's 3-1. Then here's the craziness, because there were all kinds of things happening last night. Judge outruns a shortstop throw to 1st. So now he's on 1st. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Then what happens? Stanton hits off the monster again. Judge goes from 1st to home because the pitching coach made a mistake and he didn't tell him to stop at 3rd. So Judge runs. He's kind of an awkward runner, if you noticed. He's got this weird stride, right? The relay, which looked like a lazy relay to me, by the way. It didn't even look like it was hard. It didn't even look like they thought they had a shot at him. When I was watching the relay for Boston, I'm like, he's just throwing it in to throw it in, but he doesn't think he's got a shot. The way he did it was kind of lazy, looked kind of lackadaisic. Next thing you know, bam, they get him. Judge is out. How crazy is that? I'm like, what just happened? And then I'm thinking, why didn't the pitching coach stop him? And again, you guys want to blame the manager. You guys want to blame the players. You want to say they need to blow up the roster. The pitching coach made a huge mistake. It should have been Judge at 3rd, waiting for the next batter, and they could have went 3-2 into the 7th inning. But because of a huge mistake made by your coach on the sidelines, he didn't tell him to stop, and he wheeled him through. And the next thing you know, Judge gets thrown out, and there's a big problem right there. I also saw a lot of running mistakes, overrunning, again. And I saw a lot of situations where the base coaches weren't doing a good job in regards to stopping the runners, letting them run, telling them to run when they shouldn't have run. Next thing you know, they're getting thrown out, or they're put in positions where there's a double play, or you got all of a sudden guys who just do all kinds of crazy stuff. I saw running mistake after running mistake after running mistake last night. I saw a lot of them. I can name like 3 or 4 of them. I can't name them all in detail, but there's 3 or 4 of them in my head that I'm thinking of right off the bat where I'm like, why did you continue to run? What were you thinking? Why did you do that? Right? It's crazy. And then Eovaldi gets taken out, right? Because it's his first sign of trouble. And they're like, hey, we want to win this game. We want to move on. They take Eovaldi out. All right, cool. Bogart, bottom of the 6th. He's got, another base coach mistake, right? And he's running from first to home. Again, another base coach doesn't tell him to stop, but he made it in. But folks, that was luck. That was pure luck. There's nothing to it but luck. He should have been thrown out. He should have been told to stop, but he got lucky. Why? It was Boston's day. You could tell. You could see it. You could see it in their swagger. You could see it in the pitching. You could see it in the way that New York wasn't hitting. You could see it. The Green Monster was playing foul with the Yankees. Everything was against the Yankees. This was just one of those games. This is why I'm saying you don't have to blow the team up. This is why I'm saying you don't have to fire the manager. This is why I'm saying keep the roster together. You will be an odds-on favorite next year. But these guys, when it comes to baseball, tend to overreact and make a lot of roster changes when they really don't need to. But again, it was a huge, huge, huge lucky break for Boston. Bases loaded, all right? Bases loaded. And then there's a 2-run double, but yet Verano gets thrown out at second base. Again, another one of those base running decisions where I'm scratching my head. He should have stayed at first. It would have gave them an opportunity to score more runs, but instead Verano runs to second and he gets thrown out. And when you're Boston, you want to score as many runs as you can. Reason being is because obviously it's the Yankees. They're dangerous. You want to score, and you want to score big because the Yankees are dangerous. You want to put them away and put them away early. So it's just crazy, right? Stanton for the Yankees hits one more home run, but it's too little too late. And that's all they could do. Again, why? Because it was Boston's night. Now, let's go back to what I was talking about a little earlier when I said, you don't need to fire the general manager. You don't need to spend $500 million. And sometimes you are just the team that has that bad night. You were playing against the Green Monster, against the home team. They know that field inside and out, right? And I get it. They're your rival, and you play there a lot. But it's not your home field, and you don't have the crowd behind you. Although it seemed like Yankee fans did travel well last night, but you don't have the fans behind you. And here's the kicker to the deal. So I said you don't have to blow it up. Keep the team together. You'll be an odds-on favorite. Let's move back to Tom Brady, Mac Jones Sunday night. You saw Mac Jones at the end of the game. His head is hung down low. He lost. He blames himself. It's really not his fault. His field goal kicker didn't make the field goal, and that's not his field goal kicker's fault either. It's just one of those things that happens, and his field goal kicker didn't come through in that particular instance, and he takes the loss. And everybody, sports commentator-wise, says that Tom Brady would have won that game when Tom Brady was young and in Mac Jones' position. And again, that's not true because Tom Brady as a rookie wasn't even playing. Number one, wasn't playing. Wasn't a starter like Mac Jones. Mac Jones came out from the gun starting. Tom Brady didn't. And number two, the other thing about it is, here's what's going to happen moving forward. I can already tell you because I've seen it too many times before in basketball, in baseball, and in football. But we're going to use Mac Jones because I'm going to tell you what's coming. And here's what's coming. What's coming is Mac Jones hanging his head low, feeling bad about the loss. Next year is going to come back with a lot of vigor, a lot of anger, a lot of confidence, a big chip on his shoulder. And he is going to be someone to deal with. And he is going to start to win those games that he will lose this year. He will continue to lose those games this year, although he will get better and more competitive because that game is going to put a huge chip on his shoulder. But next year, he's going to be dangerous and he's going to be better. And I don't care about all the talk that these guys are saying about how limited he is and this, that, and the other. Look, they're not on the field. They're not throwing the ball. and they don't know what they're talking about. They just say what they hear. They just say what they read. But I'm telling you from experience, from truly watching as a fan and watching this happen too many times before. How many times have you watched an NBA team lose in the finals and come back 2 to 3 years later and then they win? That very same team. How many times have you seen that happen in baseball? Which is why I'm saying the Yankees should just hang in there because they'll be back next year. And who knows, maybe they win next year, not the year after. But a lot of times it's like a couple of years later. Sometimes it's the very next year. And the team that lost comes back and wins. Or the guy that plays but doesn't play that well, all of a sudden comes back and it's like, whoa, watch out for that dude now. That's going to be Mac Jones. That is my future prediction with Matt Jones. All right. Meanwhile, it's time for the Dodgers, time for the Cardinals. Let me go ahead and make my pick. I am picking the Cardinals. Arguably the hottest team in baseball. Red Sox, one of them, probably top two in regards to, what's happened over the past 30 days. But St. Louis, the hottest team in baseball. And I don't think they're going to get slowed down tonight by the Dodgers. So I am going to give the victory by 2 runs to St. Louis. And if you're betting, I'd say take the over on 7.5, folks, because I believe they're going to get over 7.5 in total on this game. So we will talk Cardinals. We will talk Dodgers tomorrow. We'll talk about a whole lot of other stuff as well. You guys have a great day, and we will talk tomorrow.